Now, I want to show you some footage from earlier today of hundreds of immigrants crossing illegally into Eagle Pass, Texas. That Del Rio sector has had around 400,000. Just think about that number, 400,000 illegal immigrants crossed since October, Douglas. That's just incredible numbers. That's more than the population of Cleveland since October. You've written about how the Democrats have moved from worrying about illegal immigration to encouraging it.
Yes, I mean, the most extraordinary things about this is that if you go back to the 1996 election, for instance, Bill Clinton's platform, Democrat platform, the election was all about, the fact that the Democratic Party must be a party of law, and that included having legal migration and not allowing illegal migration. Fast forward to 2022, millions of illegal migrants enter the US each year, and the Democrats don't seem particularly bothered by it. And something very interesting has just started to happen, which I wrote about in the New York Post this week, which is that so far, it's states like Texas that have borne the brunt of this. And so the governor of Texas has recently started busing illegal migrants to other cities, including so-called sanctuary cities, where left-wing politicians in New York and Washington talk about, sort of love is love, no human is illegal, and so on. And New York has had 4,000 migrants sent from Texas in recent months and is buckling. The city's provisions for this are buckling under the strain. And I just think it's extraordinary. First of all, the governor of Texas is quite right to be able to say, let's share this around a bit, guys. And if you're going to encourage this, you can deal with some of the consequences. But I think the more interesting thing is that the left wing's policies on migration are always like this. They have open borders because they don't believe that there should be borders. But then, at some point, somebody has to deal with the consequences of that. For instance, of having millions of people who are effectively living in the black economy, or who are going to put a strain on housing provisions that are already strained. So it's a really interesting example, this is happening in New York and Washington, that part of the left is getting dose of the reality that it has been wishing on everyone else.
Absolutely, and particularly when you look at New York and the Democrat leaders there whining about this. They're a sanctuary city. They proudly proclaim that they're a sanctuary city, and when Governor Abbott sends them the illegal immigrants they're inviting in, they say they can't cope with 4,000 when there's 2 million plus crossing illegally at that southern border. Incredible stuff. Douglas Murray, thank you so much.
Great pleasure.